Hello. Uh, Lots of stuff going on. How's everybody doing? Desiree, Jonathan, good to see you. In a manner of speaking. All right, well, tonight I can tell you a little bit about the stuff going on for San Diego Comic-Con. I'm supposed to get my badges and such tomorrow, which is exciting. I'm going to be working on this Usagi TMNT sketch cover, which has a little bit of a twist to it. The guy that commissioned it wanted like a Godzilla mixed in somehow. So I'm going to actually have a tiny Godzilla chasing after one of the little dinosaurs underneath Usagi. So, and this is actually going to eventually be a watercolor. So we're going to be approaching it with a little bit of a cleaner finish. Desiree says she's doing okay. Kind of excited that San Diego might be more comic focused this year. I mean, I've always said that it's like the world's largest comic show next to the world's largest media show. Like, if you have the money, you could buy any comic, like, ever while you're there. It's unbelievable. It just gets, all of the attention gets sucked up by the Hollywood people. So, yeah, I just saw that Marvel wasn't going to be there, but, I think in years past, whether it was Amazon or somebody took over Hall H and did something with it, but we'll see. You know more about the media side than I do with your writing and such. Tomorrow at noon, I have a trailer that I made for Undersea Hero that'll be premiering over on my YouTube page. If you haven't followed that, it's over there. You can actually see the countdown clock for it showing up. Pretty exciting. I'm pretty happy with it. It's if you like Undersea Hero already, I don't think people will be disappointed by the trailer. It's got some animated bits. It's got some fun music. Yeah, me still learning how to use the video editing software, but trying to do some fun stuff with it. Hey, Michael, how you feeling? You feeling any better? Michael was sick last week, so you have to bear with me a little bit on this sketch cover because I have not drawn much today because I've been doing mostly graphic design and a little bit of video editing little bit of website stuff, so it's all been digital work today. So got a little blurry there. There we go. Camera. Michael says he's feeling better and making plans, some fan prints to sell at a future convention you go to. That's great. Is it the Bowie drawing that was coming along? You said you were going to be inking that. I've gotten to meet Stan Sakai a couple of times, and he was very, very nice both times. The first time was when I went to San Diego the year I did the cover. Was that the first time I met him? It was either there or at Boston Comic Con. He was at Boston one year. I don't remember which came first, but Michael says he's making a Fallout video game piece. I remember the original Fallout games. They were like overhead strategy games. They were like a little different on the computer than what they are now. Yeah, I don't want him to be too covered up. People don't want you to hide the figure when you're drawing the character they want. Michael says there's 9 by 12. Well, I hope those work out well for you. Michael says he tried to do a traditional on media paper, but kept messing up the inks. So I'm going to use a practice inking instead of selling it. That makes sense. Sorry if you can hear the dishwasher going in the background. Michael says he finds media paper to be pretty rough, but I was told I can't use watercolor on Bristol because the watercolor eats up the. Um, oh, Douglas. Can't use. I use watercolor. I use watercolor on Bristol all the time. It comes out great. You can't do like big washy bits as with as much water laying down, but if you can do like a dry brush technique, it comes out great. I've been using it for years. This is going to be our little Godzilla right here. He's going to be using his fire breath. Gonna have to get some reference for him. Then I'm gonna have one of those little dinosaurs running away. That picture. Yeah, I use it all the time, Michael. The watercolor on Bristol, don't sweat that so much. My recommendations for it though are to work fast, and then instead of layering immediately, if you can do your underpainting and then let it dry or use a hair dryer. I've actually got several videos in my live drawing catalog where you can see the technique using the hair dryer, underpainting, and then hair dryer, and then um, putting the color right on top. I actually have a few more of these, so if anybody else is interested in one of these, just hit me up, drop me a line. Um, Gotta look up reference for how Stan does the nose sometimes. I've only drawn one Usagi cover. It was a variant that I got to draw the tick on, um, which was pretty cool. I remembered he had the big bulbous head. I actually just got, I can't tell you guys what it is yet, but I just got approval on one of my biggest covers of my career yesterday, so pretty stoked for that. It's been a journey going through the approval process, but everything got done. So yes, it is good news. It is very good news, and the I saw the proofs. It was a big day yesterday, art wise. I saw the proofs for the Undersea Hero issue zeros from the printer. Those were approved, and I got the big approval on that cover yesterday. I was over the moon. Something else happened yesterday too. So much going on right now. But like I said, I made a trailer for Undersea Hero. It's on a countdown on YouTube. So if you wanted to check that out, it first goes live at noon tomorrow. One of the things that I don't think Stan gets enough credit for when you look at his comics is the beautiful, absolute beautiful crafted lettering. In addition to lettering his own stuff here, he also lettered basically the entire run of Gru the Wanderer. And I'm not sure if anyone else has lettered anything that Sergio's done since the Mad days. Maybe one of those random Marvel DC projects that he would do once in a while. Yeah, once that cover gets shown off on some one of these websites or something where they, send out a batch of variants or whatever, and they show people what's coming out, I don't know, maybe it'll be the first thing I ever take pre-orders on. I also have to order a bunch of those Gemini mailers. That's something I do have to do because my mailing supplies has been in short supply. This is actually pretty good sketch paper, I gotta say. This is pretty good. I've also been watching one of my favorite shows from back in the 90s. The original Iron Chef is on Tubi. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that. The original, the Japanese one. It's terrific. Highly entertaining. Showmanship, pageantry. Definitely made his legs a little too long, so we'll tighten that up a bit. The paper that I actually just ordered the sketch covers for Undersea Hero on is the same as my Axe of Helena covers, and it's actually a 100-pound cover, opaque smooth, and it's really, really excellent paper. I, I I was thrilled when I first got the Axe of Helena sketch covers, by how good the paper was, and I had to get the same stuff on it. It's a little more expensive, but, like, I can do ink wash on it, I can do heavy watercolors, I can do all sorts of stuff on it, and it's gonna be a lot of fun to work on. Um, Start to get a little bit of cleanup in here. One of the things I've started to do is clean up some of the pencils as I go so I can see more and see better what I'm doing. I used to just layer on, like, layer after layer of pencil lead, but eventually that just smudges and gets harder and harder to erase. And this has been easier to do. Get his little sandals in there. I apologize if there's another name for the type of shoes he's wearing, but they look like sandals from where I'm sitting. I'm sorry, I have not seen The Flash. I have not seen that movie yet. I was actually considering watching the second Shazam movie on streaming because I actually thought the first one was pretty good. And basically, everyone said it's like just more of the same. So, see, Desiree knows what they're called. There we go. Not as good as the first, but fun. That's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for, I'm not expecting nor looking for high cinema with that one. Desiree says the second half is better than the first on the Flash. See, I watched some of the TV show. I watched a few seasons of that, and that was, it was more or less enjoyable. I trailed off because it just turned into like different speedster after different speedster as the villain. if it was, a little more interesting than that, I probably would have stuck with it as far as when they had Gorilla Grodd in it, I thought that was pretty cool. Spoiler from, like 10 years ago. Yeah, I thought that was cool. It's finally seeing something different. Like there's so many characters. I don't know why they just keep using the same ones over and over. It's because they already have the toy molds made or something. I think I gotta make his belt a little more, a little nicer. A little more prominent. I wasn't watching the game, but I saw the Dodgers were on TV yesterday. Yesterday, I think they were on national, like TBS or something. They were like the game of the week, I think. I don't get ESPN, so it must not have been ESPN. They were somewhere. I actually was like, oh, I wonder if Desiree's at this game. I get like the cheapest, fewest channels cable that they offer just so that I have the internet. Like you have to have like with Comcast here, they make you get like the local channels and like a handful of others just to have the internet. Or if you have the internet, you just get those channels or whatever. Oh, okay. Trying to figure out the point in the running cycle where the legs will be. Yeah, that just looks clunky, even though it's probably correct. It just looks clunky. Let's see if we can. Again, it just looks weird where the leg is. It's just, I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand why. Like, where in the running cycle? Because if the leg is shaped like this, it comes down, goes back, then comes forward. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep, it's a lightning bolt. That's the leg based on Stan's sketch here. There's the body. There's a little hand right there. So it goes down like this, like that. Down like this, like that. That's better. Okay. All right, I think I got it. I just have to make it a little longer and exaggerate it a little bit. I think that's okay. I totally agree, Douglas. There are times when drawings, especially when you're dealing with just like regular things in motion, things will just look wrong. Even if it's correct. You're right. You're totally right. I always forget how there we go. I have to get Godzilla reference. Oh, I messed up the little ear. That's why it looked really wrong. Guess we didn't need that. You know, I wish this was not a watercolor cover. I think I got to start over. Unless, do I have any eraser in this? Let me check something. Sometimes with these IDW sketch covers, you can actually remove the title. I'm going to mute the microphone just for a second. Just I was muted. Yeah, yeah. No, I just have to start over because like the ears aren't in the shot, so we have to start over. And this is the work that you don't get paid for. Like I said, doing it over again, so fun, so fun. Because you don't get the ear. Because I can't put. If this were just an inked cover, I could put white out in front and just roll with it. But because this is a watercolor cover, I don't get to do that. Silly tricks don't work. Did I mute it so I could curse and scream? There might have been an almost cursing that happened, but it was just for the electronic. I mean, unless you want to hear the eraser, it's really annoying. Well, if you don't get the giant ears in the shot, like what the hell is the point? Fitting a whole scene on this is a pain in the rear. Don't worry, Douglas. At San Diego, you'll get the cursing if that's if you're like, man, I just want to hear what it sounds like when he stops saying gosh. Like I said, I haven't drawn much today, so wasn't thinking. Maybe I don't think there's a better pose because the figure just keeps getting smaller and smaller. Yeah, I know. Believe me, I know. It's tonight you get to watch the struggle. And I'll finish this, and I'll just have it on have him on one knee. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably how we'll have to do it. Yeah. Otherwise, you'd end up with a figure that's like this tall. Or maybe we could move the camera. We could change the angle, lower the horizon line. Let me see if I can figure out a down angle. Life held the feet. Maybe there's a down angle. Yeah, but then you have the ears getting in the way. It explains why. I don't know if do you ever see an overhead shot of Usagi in a book? Or is it all straight on talking head shots? Ninja Turtles, Ninja Turtles, Ninja Turtles. Yeah, no, you don't see a single down angle shot. I wonder if, yeah, I'll have to look through. I have an omnibus here somewhere. I'll have to look through to see if there's any sort of omnibus. Let me take a look here. Yeah, if he's doing like a swing, because his ears are always tied back and they're always kind of half down like this. They're always kind of like that. Perfect, right? Let's see. Trying to figure out a figure that remains big enough to be worth the effort. I think we'll just bend him down some more. Change the pose. Yeah, I think that'll do it. We will find out, won't we? We got 6 of these covers we can blow through, right? Because personally, I think that ears are more important than the sword in the shot. They can be a tiny bit cut off, but they just can't be like gone. Ugh, just fighting it tonight. Really fighting it. I also have a problem with mashup covers. I'll be honest. Like, there's just like a mental block that I have that exists where I just do not like doing mashups at all. But the customer gets what the customer wants. I mean, the easy way out of this would be to do just a little figure, like walking down a hill, and then you have just like the character chasing after him or whatever. I'm always trying to just deliver something that I think is worth doing, and sometimes that's very frustrating. See, and then you lose the freaking entire silhouette of the character. Ugh. There we go. That's better. Same idea, just pulled back a little bit. Well, and Doug says, pay attention, everybody. See, this is what he's going through. This is why I don't take commissions. It is a struggle, especially when you're drawing characters that you don't know. Like, if this was an Undersea Hero sketch cover, we'd be on to the inks by now, for sure. And then you run out of room. And then he's hunched over, and then it looks awkward. You see, like, where the break line is? It's like right here, and there's just not enough real estate there. We're gonna have to just pull back. We're just gonna have to. There's nothing that can be done except pull back, pull the camera back some. And we can sort of merge the two. That's what we can do. We can pull back some. That scene that was like between his legs, we're gonna move that to here. We're gonna actually be able to see the totality of those characters now. I'm gonna change the direction towards the page opening. And then we're gonna have to There we go. Just pull back. It's not as dynamic, but we'll try to pull it together with the execution. I think personally, I think if it wasn't a full figure commission, that if we did a 3/4 figure and we had the character sort of off center and then had those two going around, I think that that would come out better. If I was just being honest as far as like a finished piece, like everyone says you got to have full figure. You really don't. You do not have to always go full figure. How much further down did we need? We were right underneath it, and I need an extra, let's say, inch. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. That will be fine. People are going to look at this and be like, why'd you redraw it? Because we needed the ears in, and you can't just click and drag like when it's, a digital piece. There we go. That'll work. That'll do it. Breakthrough. There we go. All right. Now we can move forward with the actual fleshing out the character and the drawing. Now, what you just watched, when I was first starting out, I totally would have had to be like, I'd be like mad. I would probably stop drawing for, the rest of the night and go read a comic book because that's easier. But honestly, I'm going to be much happier with the finished piece since I actually figured out what was wrong with it. I'm just going to reference my original face because I actually think that came out okay. And some of it's my own crazy, I admit. Like, no one else is gonna say probably look at that and be like, oh well, why aren't his ears showing? That's my own hang up. It's just wanting to deliver a good piece that I think is worth the money that I'm being paid and worth being in somebody's collection. And this is actually like Usagi Yojimbo. It's a pleasure to draw the character, or for Stan's character, because it's such a piece of cohesive piece, like the whole run of it, single authorship for decades. You know, And they don't have to be the whole ears. They just have to be enough ears. Can actually get a little bit more than I thought there. There we go. I just feel like if it didn't have the ears, it would just look like a crazy looking guy. I don't know. I was surprised that the person commissioning it didn't want, Ninja Turtles, because most people, I've drawn one Usagi cover, and most people, especially when you have the mashup cover, I'm changing the pose a little bit, having one leg come forward and one leg going back. Thankfully, this is actually, like I said, the sketch cover paper is pretty good, so it can take some erasing. And then he's got like the big baggy pants so that it can help fudge some of our anatomy. I mean, and that's what it does. I mean, it really does. You can hide your anatomy flaws. But in this case, because we're using the big baggy pants and there's this big overlap, we really have to show this back foot and the front foot so that it keeps the perspective for us. We don't want to lose that. We just don't want too big blob, or I don't want just too big blobby things. And actually, if we can have this sword go in front of the leg here, it'll push it back some more, which is good. We'll get some of that layering. This is why when you see Stan's quick sketches, he's like Usagi's like in front of a bunch of grass. It's like waist up. Desiree told us what these are actually called. They're not sandals. Hold on, I'm scrolling up. I can find it. Maybe they're called Gita. There we go. Learned. I am learned tonight. One thing I've mentioned on some of my posts is that the booth I will be at in San Diego is the Arsenic Lullaby / Fat Cat booth. I'll be there with Douglas. It's just a stone's throw away from where the NEC booth used to be. I kind of wish I could put some sound effects on this, but like I didn't clear that with the commissioner. And I'm actually going to use the little Godzilla fire breath to help with the layering again, because you're going to see this is his pants are solid black, and then as are these, and they're actually with a soft material, so they're not going to be reflective. So what I'm going to do is layer the little Godzilla fella here, and it's going to be partly in front of this foot, partly in front of these pants, and then the little flame breath is it's gonna not going to be very big. It's got to be small and less menacing. It's going to go between Usagi's legs, so there's going to be a little bit of a light source coming from down here. This arm looks a little long. His arm's going back. Need to show a hard break there. Yeah, we gotta move that. We gotta move that because it just looks like it's short now. So we need to have it come back a little bit instead of just straight out and then down. Make sure that this is here. This is here. That come across. Douglas says R.I.P. NEC. So sad. Hey, I got another fishtail coming your way. I think Usagi has 4 fingers and 4 toes, right? That's the idea. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Looks better. Arm still looks too thick. Giving him like undersea hero arms. He's got little arms, little rabbit arms. Yeah, they had been going there since the 90s in that same spot. So I think it was Jeff who told me that he was there for like the first one back, the special edition or whatever from first one back from COVID, and the NEC booth was just empty, even though supposedly someone was supposed to be there. Not from NEC, somebody the show had um, rented it out to somebody else, but they also didn't show up, I guess. Yeah, we won't be too far from like where the Titan booth usually is. Richard Starkings was around there. Uh, Terry Moore. There were a handful of folks that were around that booth area. Eric Powell wasn't too far away, if I remember correctly. Albatross is his label. He and like Steve Mannion and those folks. Although I think he does his stuff completely with Asylum really now. I like his artwork. I like Steve Mannion's artwork. It's very he's got his own thing going on there. And I really like when I look at an artist's work and I only see their work. I have to finish this piece, and I actually have another variant cover that I have to finish for my friend Carissa, her company. Her Kickstarter's live for that book, and I gotta get that done. I got it penciled. I gotta finish inking that sucker and then color it. I like this one much better than the first one. I'm not gonna lie. I think this one's coming out much better. Much happier with it. Hopefully the person who commissioned it is happy with it when we finish. I like to add just a little bit of Stan's design on this is very graphical and it's beautiful. You can see the way he handles the bandages at the top there, where it's just three little lines with a little tape tick. I like to add just a little bit of an edge, like just an overlapping element, and then also just a tapering to it. I'm not saying that I do it better or doing any. That's just a little flair that visually to me that helps anchor that part. Anytime I can have any sort of pure geometric shape help aid the viewer, that's I think it's really important because people don't necessarily know how a figure is constructed or how how the geometrics underneath the skin or the bone structure necessarily works. But if in a drawing they see, like, like on a car, they see four tires and those are circles and cylinders. And anytime you can see, or tile floor, when you can put those simple shapes in perspective, I really think that they help um, a viewer navigate a scene. I really do. And it helps people be able to interpret a scene better. Even if it's just a framed picture, like the very famous shot at the opening of The Simpsons with them sitting on the couch. That little framed picture behind them with the sailboat that's just like four triangles. I think it's so important to establishing that shot. Yeah, I think an open hand is better here. I can't believe I'm still as awake as I am because I did not have any afternoon tea. I usually have to have tea the afternoon. I'm streaming in the evening just to be like awake and able to pay attention and keep my brain going after working all day. But today I'm doing okay. It must have been that good news yesterday. And here's a little another visual thing. I want this leg coming forward. And even though it may not be correct, I don't want to show the bottom of the little bow tie that's around, the little bow on his waist, because it's going to create another layer with that leg being in front of it. Because if you're looking at it, you know that there's the bottom of the little bow tie there. So it just adds another layer. Isaiah says the NEC booths at Sdcc was one of my earliest exposures to the tick. I could remember I saw them in 2015, but sidetracked by an animator I admired at a booth nearby. They'd been in that same spot since the 90s. Like they had been going consistently. Um, and in the same place. Like it was a great spot. I mean, let me make sure I get all the foot in a little bit better just before I go too far. Just because I think that it's so important at this angle of a shot. Like he's stepping over this little fight between this mini Godzilla and this little fella. Isaiah says, hopefully I can make it to a future convention so I can get one of the shirts. Which shirts? What shirt are you looking to get? I have not made any Undersea Hero shirts yet. Who knows if we will. I think Douglas has made some shirts of the uh, Voodoo Joe. I think I saw. Was he on a shirt? I think he was. Maybe I'm misremembering. I don't know. For some reason, I thought I saw your characters on a shirt. Again, I don't like the separation there. We just don't have enough separation. I have to draw them a little smaller, I think. A little further back. Douglas says he was, yeah, I've done the lots of shirts. Joe, the fetuses, Von Donut, the Clot. I forgot who else. NEC gave me a free shirt, as in one. I think they let me choose between a bleep drawing and a drawstring backpack. I remember there was this tuxedo tick I saw in 2019. Yeah, I think there is a tuxedo. They do tick shirts, but I think you can actually order them on the NEC website, if I'm not mistaken. Most of the tick shirts. Between a shirt and a drawstring bag, one or the other, only one, because I'm sure they were made of the highest quality. I think it would be better to have this leg going back. And this leg coming forward. It's true. It's not the same as getting it in person. There we go. Much better. Much better. We're doing much better this time through the lineup, as they say. See, this is a little more animated. I feel like this has a little bit more dynamism to it. I don't know. I just like it better. Maybe it was the struggle. Maybe it's the slaying of the dragon of fighting this thing. Our Godzilla reference again. Why is it that I find that so many of the best reference pictures end up being pictures of like toys? Come on, let me zoom in. There we go. Maybe we won't even do the flame breath. It might be better to just have him, roaring. I think that might be better, be more recognizable if I can get the likeness. I've been asked to draw Godzilla, I don't know, I would say 10 times in my life. Douglas says toys and models usually give you good results. I just type in model if I search for ref for a pic. It's getting that snout right that I think is difficult. And also drawing him like an inch tall, not fun. Always easier to draw a little bigger, especially as I've gotten older. Between my dexterity and my eyesight. Yes, tiny, tiny Godzilla. Well, I thought it would be cool because they got those little dinosaurs in Usagi Yojimbo. We had them be tiny. All right, you gotta find like a full body picture now. So from the Hollywood Reporter. There we go. Gotta get those little ears in there too. Those big Godzilla legs. I feel like we should have another one of those little dinosaurs like looking back. All right, got his tiny little feet. I was close. I knew they were like tri-claws. See, and if I could do lettering, I would draw like, I would just do a little rar. And then the rar would go between his legs. And getting the texture right is also, it's like those vertical lines along his body. And then back here, it's just like little crisscross texture. And then the legs, he's got the lines on both sides. Does he have it on his tail too? No. He's got spikes down his back all the way down to his tail though. There we go. And you also right here, this part of, and I know again you're gonna be like, why are you saying that? This right here, this little bit of negative space for his back leg, I just think is so important to this pose. And see, now that we have two little dinosaurs, we could have one in front of Usagi's leg and then one behind. There's the tail. The leg's too far back. I have to fight this leg again. There we go. One like that. One like that. There we go. There, much more interesting. Now the question is, do we do flat black or do I go in and do a noodly cross hatching in there? Since we're doing watercolor, do you think we should do, let me take a look at the reference here, because he does graphical dots. And I think that the graphic effect is really important for Usagi. I just wanted to see if it was a solid black line for the texture in the shirt. Because if that's what Stan does, I think he used to use I believe he used that Zipatone screen that was those empty circles like that. I think it was something like that. So I think if that's the case, we won't do little circles. But I was not exaggerating before. Anytime I have some sort of like crossover, I just have like this block. It's like, no, that doesn't go with that. I've actually turned down some commissions when I couldn't even conceive of how those characters would interact. We're not going to get this ink tonight, but I'm going to be really happy that we're going to be able to start inking. Probably get it done inking tomorrow, and then we'll watercolor this thing. But I think we went through a journey tonight on this piece. You got to see the struggle, having to start over. Stuff happens, man. Unless you're one of those guys that has like 50 stock poses in your head and you can just pump them out. I'm not that guy. And I put a lot of pressure on myself to give people something that I would want to hang on my own wall or have in my own collection. I actually don't hang. I don't have. I think any comic artwork of mine hanging anywhere at all. I have other people's work on my walls. I've got a John Byrne page over here. There's a Tony Salmons. got some skateboards that were painted by Toka, who's an artist out in Colorado Springs that he gave me that were Ninja Turtles themes. I'm hoping he'll do an undersea hero on one of these skateboards. I think he does really cool work since we can't have the RAR. I think I will have a couple of graphical elements like a little actually that would be the wrong one there. I think the right one, the right shorthand would be just having some lines like that, and then we'll have them go. We'll actually, I know exactly what we'll do. After we paint it, we'll be able to add these lines that look like he's yelling with white paint. Perfect. It's one of those little special effects that I like to add on. Oh, I forgot his little emblem. The struggle of this evening was fruitful. And I can keep a shadow underneath. Oh, thank you so much. Give you a spotlight. There we go. Mr. Dasgupta. In my original sketch, we had a circle. Let me take a look and see where we're at. I actually think I'm going to have to get a bigger circle. We're going to have to get like a dinner plate or something. Let's get rid of some of those structural lines there. Get rid of that. Can erase this part now. And my original intent for the background was just to have him, stepping on a stone. And just going to have some of the Hokusai shorthand that I had used on the original cover that I had done. I don't think I have anything big enough for circles, so we'll just do a real rough. Let me pull it down, shape it. I actually think because we pulled back, we should have something smaller. Where's that template? And I was going to have some. See, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that composition. I mean, do we go full cheesy and just frame the rabbit? Let me just take a look and see what that looks like. Nah. This one will be watercolored, yes. This one was a commission, and they wanted it in color. So it was one of the reasons we actually had to start over. I started out with this sketch cover, and his ears were just completely obscured by this black bar here. So we had to redraw, move it down a little bit, tweak it a little bit, move things around. But you can see the difference. And not a lot of folks stuck around through the struggle. We definitely, our numbers went down through that ordeal, but I think that it really was for the benefit of the piece. I think we just should. I think we should just have. That's right. Yeah, no Control Z. Not when you're doing it the analog, old-fashioned way. And hey, I do a lot better, at least between the ears, when I struggle with traditional art than when I'm fighting some thing that I got to look up a YouTube video to learn how to do on my computer. I find that very frustrating. Yeah, I don't like that there. I think we actually have to go with a smaller circle since we pulled back. Let me take a look. Because I want you to be able to see more of the circle. Well, it's 9:55. We're reaching the end here for the night. You got to see the struggle. So it happens sometimes, but I think we got something that works for me, at least for finishing and taking to the next steps of doing this commission. I think it looks much better than the first one. It's got more of my look to it. And I like it more. There's a little more movement. Yeah, Undersea Hero, the little trailer that I put together for the book is tomorrow at noon on YouTube. So if you want to see some fun stuff, a video that I made, it'll be there. I'm sure I'll be sharing it around afterwards, but I did the premiere there. I hope everybody has a good night tonight. Thanks for hanging out with me and helping me through this one with your suggestions and your encouragement. And I will see you all next Wednesday. Next week I will probably be doing just some more character sketches, but we'll see what's on the schedule. Thanks, Douglas. It definitely had to redo it. Had to. But good night, everybody. I'll catch you later.